Good evening. Hope everybody's doing well. Trying not to cough. I was sitting there about, I don't know. Oh yeah, by the way, just moments before I went live, once again, second night in a row, that as I was going live, I get a notification that North Korea, aka Little Rocket Man, had launched another missile. This time, they did use the language ballistic. Or, wait a minute. One moment. Maybe ballistic, wasn't it? It was. North Korea launches suspected long-range ballistic missile towards Sea of Japan. So, North Korea reportedly launched a suspected intercontinental ballistic missile. That's what I was looking for, the intercontinental part. Toward the Sea of Japan early Friday, South Korean media reported. Citing a defense source, South Korean media reported that the projectile appeared to be an intercontinental ballistic missile. However, moments earlier, South Korea's Joint Chiefs of Staff had detailed that the projectile was an unspecified ballistic missile. The Joint Chiefs did not offer further details in their announcement. Elsewhere, the Japan Coast Guard stated in a release that the projectile dispatched by North Korea was also believed to be a ballistic missile. Aircraft and sea vessels are urged to monitor the information to refrain from approaching fragments should they fall, and to inform the Coast Guard, the Japanese Coast Guard said in a statement. More details to come. So that happened, like I say, just right before we went live. Same thing happened yesterday, right before we went live. Kim Jong-un is certainly trying to, I don't know, fluff his cock feathers. I don't know. Isn't that what they do, right? The peacocks and the other kind of cocks, you know, don't they ruffle their feathers and... Sorry. Anyway, as per the title, it's kind of inaccurate, to be real honest, because it wasn't Biden that scolded Zelensky. It was actually one of his aides. No, not as in he's got... No, don't go there. No, it was one of his assistants, that kind of aides. Anyway... Not the kind that he shares with whatever that was, a Russian bodyguard, whatever. Yeah, Mr. Bicep Man. Anyway, this is this is crazy. Hang on, let me have a sip. It's crazy how much that Zelensky has been steadfast in that this was Russia's projectile. I think it's really causing pause for the international community, and I'm not so sure. I'm not entirely convinced that those that tracked it, those that know exactly where it left, where it went, and whether or not it was even on a course to intercept a Russian missile, I don't know. But it really does seem something's funky here, and it really does seem like Zelensky really needed this. So... Here at I've got an article. Can't think really anything update-wise. I kind of figured we'd make a quick, easy show of it. my Friday. I'm ready to relax. I want to maybe do a little bit of flying tomorrow, and I don't know, just kick back for a little bit. I've still got the rest of my cleanup project to do, and reorganization project. Not too far off from having it finished. So we're back on the oil heaters, the radiant oil heaters, the electric heaters, until we get more diesel. So we got to get more diesel. As soon as we do, we'll definitely be back to that diesel heater. So let's see. I'm going to go ahead and jump on in. Ukraine lied to NATO over missile strike. So this was, hang on, sip of coffee. Good stuff. It says here, Ukraine has been accused of openly lying about a missile that hit Poland, killing 2 civilians earlier this week. The Financial Times reported on Thursday, citing an unnamed diplomat from a NATO country. What if those missiles were not damaged when putting those missiles in the sea in a way to move those weapons to outside agencies? You talking about North Korea? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, from North Korea. I don't know. I have no idea. I think there's a lot of funny stuff going on. I really, really do. For one, these countries, like North Korea and Iran both having hypersonic missile technology. That is, that's interesting. Let's see. This here goes on to say Ukraine rushed to pin the blame on Moscow, while the Russian Ministry of Defense stated that footage from the site showed elements of a missile from an S-300 air defense system used by the Air Force of Ukraine. This is getting ridiculous, the official told the outlet on Wednesday. The Ukrainians are destroying our confidence in them. Nobody is blaming Ukraine, and they are openly lying. This is more destructive than the missile, the source reportedly said. The comments come in response to President Vladimir Zelensky claiming that Ukraine had nothing to do with the missile that struck, I can't pronounce that, in Poland on Tuesday, insisting that it was Russia that launched the weapon. Zelensky has insisted that Ukrainian investigators be given access to the crash site, stating that if it turns out that it was indeed a Ukrainian rocket, then Kiev would have to apologize. But sorry, first I want an investigation, access the data you have. We want to have this, Zelensky said, addressing his Western partners. And they've all said, including Poland, they've all said what happened. I don't know. I don't know. This is, moreover, what I was talking about in the headline. Wasn't, like I say, actually Biden, but which the article will explain. Washington reprimanded Kiev over missile incident. U.S. President Joe Biden did not speak to his Ukrainian counterpart Vladimir Zelensky about the missile incident in Poland, CNN reported on Thursday, citing multiple anonymous sources. Instead, his national security advisor, Jake Sullivan, phoned Zelensky's office, urging Ukrainian officials to tread more carefully, and Kiev accused Moscow of striking the village of, and I can't say the name of that, and killing 2 civilians. So, and, Jake Sullivan, you remember him. He's otherwise known as Jake from State Farm. He got promoted. Biden and his Secretary of State Antony Blinken were in Bali, Indonesia for the G20 summit when the AIDS woke them when he woke up with AIDS, woke them up in the middle of the night with news of the missile incident, according to CNN. Well, I mean, he did, overnight with Biden that one time. But anyway, the U.S. president was on the phone with his Polish counterpart, Andrzej Duda, by 5:30 a.m. local time, with Blinken and Sullivan joining the call later. Oh, a threesome. Between the information coming from Poland and the U.S. satellite-based intelligence, CNN said it became clear that the missile appeared to have been launched by Ukraine. Zelensky had already accused Russia, however, describing it as an attack on NATO and demanding a response. Sullivan then quickly called Zelensky's office and urged officials to tread more carefully with how they were speaking about the incident, according to sources familiar with the call. Pardon me. I don't want to brag or anything. I don't want to talk about, wealth or nothing, but, me and Blue were sharing tuna fish a while ago on Ritz crackers. So, I don't want to throw around our wealth or nothing, but it was pretty good. Anyway, have a sip of coffee. And I had to share because it was tuna fish on crackers. Oh, man. It's good coffee. I don't share that with Blue. Alright. Let's see. And then, after all that nonsense, I guess that, they haven't caused enough damage as it is. Now they want Patriot missiles. It says here, Ukraine has called on the U.S. to provide it with Patriot air defense systems, Foreign Minister Dmitry Kuleba said on Twitter on Thursday. Pardon me. The request was made during his phone call with U.S. Hang on. Sheesh. The request was made during his phone call with U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken. I am convinced that the time for Patriots has come. Yeah, was that a play on words? Kuleba said, adding that the NASAMS air defense systems had already proved their effectiveness in Ukraine. And really, they've all been wiped out. And the official said that he thanked the U.S. for its crucial defense assistance that lasted for 2 seconds, but added that deliveries of air defense systems to Ukraine need to be sped up. Ukraine's top diplomat also stated that Moscow bears sole responsibility for what he called a missile terror and its consequences, not only in Ukraine but in Poland and Moldova as well. Poop in one hand and wish in the other. Let us know which one comes first. Oh, don't you love this headline? I'll let you kind of look at it for a little bit and marinate in it. Ukraine, as far as its government is concerned, probably one of the crappiest places on the planet. you want to talk about a dictator type of regime. It's some unreal stuff going on there. And it's just mind-blowing to me that our government is supporting that. Our government is behind that. And that they are making the people of the United States pay for it. That blows my mind. Hang on a sec. Much better. Okay, I spoke too soon. Okay. As you see, Zelensky declares Ukraine corruption-free. Oh, okay. Well, that's it. That's settled. So, that was most definitely Russian missile that struck Poland, and it's got to be now. I mean, if they're corruption-free, that means couldn't have been them. Unbelievable. Corruption has been eradicated from Ukraine, and all Russian influences have left or been chased out, Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky told a global audience at the Bloomberg New Economy Forum on Thursday. No one will be able to forgive corruption in the future Ukraine, he said, explaining that all the corrupt officials had fled the country in the months following the launch of Russia's military operation. The remaining officials would not be tempted to interfere in business operations because all government services had gone electronic, he added. Zelensky promised there would be no influence of Russian capital in Ukraine going forward, explaining that any business pardon me, that any business interests not united behind his government had either left our enterprises or we pushed them out, including the many political parties and media outlets his government has banned, such as the Party of Regions of predecessor Viktor Yakunova. I can't say that. But, yeah, so they literally outlawed any opposition. So, I mean, it's insane. It is absolutely insane. Anyway. Here, let me take this thing off. Then they're about ready to have a damn heat stroke. Alright. Seoul may change stance on nuclear weapons, says minister. This is something that we might want to keep an eye on. This is a big deal. This is actually a pretty big move if this is what happens. It says here South Korea may have to South Korea may have to consider acquiring nuclear weapons or deploying American nukes on its territory if tensions with the North escalate further. Unification Minister Kwon Young-si has said. Now, this article came out before the launch this evening, so probably not before the launch yesterday, but it would have came out before the launch today. Goes on to say if inter-Korean relations continue to get worse and tensions keep rising, the government cannot ignore such a call indefinitely in case public opinion tilts forward toward the South's nuclear armament in a broad meeting, Kwon, Seoul's top official responsible for relations with North Korea, told the Yonhap news agency on Thursday. He added that such an option could potentially include nuclear sharing or the deployment of U.S. tactical nuclear weapons on South Korean territory. Kwon stated, however, that at the moment Seoul is not thinking about acquiring nuclear weapons or bringing back U.S. warheads to the Korean peninsula. His comments came the same day Pyongyang fired a short-range ballistic missile into the Sea of Japan. According to South Korean Joint Chiefs of Staff, the North stepped up its launches this month, including the firing of 23 missiles of various types on November 2nd. And also, yesterday they did the short-range weapon. Today, apparently, they did a long-range weapon. One moment. Oh, man. Well, anyway, that's fun. You know what else is fun? Fake meat. You don't think fake meat's fun? Oh, fake meat's fun. U.S. regulator makes landmark decision on lab-grown meat. I hope you're ready for it. It's not coming right away, but it's coming around the bend. It'll be chicken coming round the bend. It'll be chicken coming round the bend. Come on. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration has approved a lab-grown meat product as safe for human consumption, making it the first to receive a preliminary green light from the regulator. In a statement released on Wednesday, the FDA EIEIO, explained it had found no safety issues with manufacturer Upside Foods' manufacturing process, while stressing this did not mean the cultivated chicken product could be sold on the open market just yet. The unnamed product, manufactured by Upside Foods, I love that name, uses animal cell culture technology, that sounds yummy, to take living cells from chickens and grow the cells in a controlled environment to make the cultured animal cell food, the FDA revealed. My tummy's growling. The finished product is described in another memo as a coherent tissue of chicken gallus cells, similar in composition and nutritional characteristics to conventional poultry products. You know. While the end product is meant to resemble chicken, its origin materials may include materials of bovine or porcine or porcine. What is porcine? Somebody can let me know. That's not pork, is it? What is that? Anyway, in addition to cell culture media components, and antibiotics, antimycotics, according to the FDA documentation, Upside Your Head Foods, that's what it ought to be, claims its cow materials are sourced from disease-free or risk-negligible herds, and its pig components, it must be pig, are tested for porcine viruses that could survive in human cells. Company acknowledges potential unintended effects of genetic engineering, as well as possible contamination with microorganisms or zoonotic viruses as potential hazards inherent in the manufacturing process, but reassures the FDA that its procedures in place to test for these upsized chicken claims as safe as conventional poultry meat from a chicken carcass. You know, won't you find it an incredible day when the chicken commercial has a 5-minute long disclaimer like the medicine commercials? May cause mass pandemic or death. It's really that stupid. Really that stupid. Have a sip of coffee. I don't care if my boss gets pissed off. Yeah, it was kind of a messed up day with those types of headlines coming in. There was quite a few headlines early in the day. It was right before 7, I guess. When I looked, there was like 28 headlines already, and that's a fair amount. All right, let's see. We'll just run through these, run out the back door. Let's see. China responds after FBI labels TikTok a national security threat. U.S. sanctions Iranian journalists. Chinese refiners seek more Russian oil, says Bloomberg. Inflation in Italy highest since 1984. Russia blasts efforts to drag it into conflict with NATO. Pence responds to Trump's re-election bid. Biden congratulates Republicans on winning the House. I'm sure it was heartfelt. U.S. general claims he couldn't reach Moscow after Polish missile incident. Biden disputes Zelensky. Oh, I read that one. Sweden changes constitution to crack down on terrorism. Musk looking for new leader to run Twitter, says Reuters. UN chief welcomes agreement on grain deal. Seoul may change stance on nuclear weapons, says minister. Zelensky confirms signals from West on peace talks. Russians told how not to fall victim to old hag syndrome. Be careful of that. Zelensky backtracks on missile claims. Breakfast becoming costly for Britain, says Bloomberg. Alright, let's see. Covered that. Russia poses no objection to extending the grain deal by 120 days. Iran blamed for drone attack in Gulf of Oman. UK to reconsider approach on distribution of migrants. FTX panic spreads to other crypto platforms. Zelensky commanding the U.S. to lead World War III, says Tucker Carlson. A record number of Brits regret Brexit, says poll. You know, and here's the deal with that. They have screwed around with Brexit for so long that a lot of the people that were staunchly for it got tired of it because they would never get anything done. And I think that was on purpose. I think the people wanted Brexit. And, of course, them did not. And so that's how they punished the people. Just my opinion. El Salvador doubles down on Bitcoin. Let's see. Oops. Russia believes Ukraine is making a mockery of peace talks, says RIA Novosti. A Dutch court passes sentence in MH17 trial. Man, my sinuses are crazy tonight. Swedish parliament takes heat over new law. I like that diesel heater much better than I do these electric heaters, I'll tell you that. And that's a difference I can tell, too. I can breathe easier and everything else with those diesel heaters. Or with that diesel heater, because it's a much drier air. Let's see. I don't know if I read that one. Swedish Parliament takes heat over new law. British economy in recession, says Chancellor. Let's see. New York Post ridicules. I'll get it right. New York Post ridicules Trump 2024 bid. I am ready for bed. Let's see. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Dang it, Meng. Go back. Russian embassy in Warsaw attack, says Moscow. China calls for Asia-Pacific integration. MH17 verdict is a political put-up job, says Russia. Zelensky cracks down on popular news outlet as repressions against media intensify in Ukraine. Ukrainian military victory not likely anytime soon, says top U.S. general. Head of Goldman Sachs Russia is leaving. Covered that. Pelosi to retire as Democrat leader, and I'm sure many of you have already known that. I'm sure you've celebrated, however that may be. Washington reprimanded Kiev over missile and I covered that. Germany makes military offer to Ukraine's neighbor. British government slammed for arresting journalists. House Republicans to investigate Biden family. I don't expect it to go anywhere. That stuff never goes anywhere. Israel caves into U.S. pressure over Ukraine, says Haaretz, or Haaretz, I don't know how that's pronounced. Poland comments on Ukraine's role in missile investigation. Evidence suggests Ukrainian missiles struck Poland, says top security official. Well, no duh. Let's see. Poland missile strike is a good story, says Zelensky aide. I mean, it's just so stupid. Spain contemplates revising controversial rape law. And, we got a number one up there. But Trump denounces U.S. gender insanity. And, White House not involved. White House not involved in FBI probe into reporter's death. So, that just came out. Let me get that shared. And away it goes. Okay, that looks like the end of the world news for today. It's not the end of the world. Sure not the 80s and 90s, though, either. Damn. Can we go back? I mean, all of it. I want the age back and all of that. But I want to keep what I learned. I don't want to do all that dumb shit over again. Grasshopper wants to take a different path. Anyway, I am going to get out of here for the week. Just keep your eyes on stuff. Keep at stuff. You know the drill. I'm getting huffed. I don't know what the deal is. The show's almost over. Would you relax, kid? So pushy. See, now I get to go deal with the dog for the rest of the evening. She's going to try to push me out of my spot in bed. Huff at me because I won't move. I don't know why I even bother. I'll get stabbed later for that. Anyway, I am going to get out of here. God willing, we will be back on Sunday and start another week. Hang in there. Keep, like I said, I mean it. Keep at things. Keep your eyes open. Keep up on things. Anyway, I hope to see you Sunday. As always, God bless you. We love you. Be one with your spirit. And shalom.